Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eddie Marcus again. Today, I'd like to offer my opinion to the world, to the world community. As I refer to the news, that news that is not made public through the institutions that have been set up through the state, I find out that there are a lot of things that's going on that are intentionally being kept as secrets from the American people by those that they've put in charge to represent them. And the interest, though it goes forward as saying it is to our best interest that we do not have this information. In reality, through the news, the underground news, the indication is that the reason we are not getting the information is because plans are being made to work against the people of the world. And so it appears that there is a international threat that's being amassed to overcome the people of the world and subject them to a force that is not in their best interest or in their favor. And as spokesman and advocate for basic human rights for all people, I have an obligation to at least share this information with you. For I'm sure in the bits and pieces that we each have all over the world, it might become a little complicated to see the big picture from that perspective only. And so hopefully this might enlighten you or enable you to be more successful in your efforts. Here are the realities. All across the globe, in every land, in every government, under whatever administration, there are people who are extremely wealthy, who have the opportunity to enjoy some of the things of life that so many others wish they could, but never will be able to. There are people in every land like that. There are also people in every land that can't do all those things, but can do most of them. And there are people in every land that can't do as much as these, can almost, but not as much. And yet, in every land, there are people who can do very little of any of these things, even though they desire it with all their heart. For in every land, all the people aspire to go to the highest heights, to meet with life its challenges and face them, and not necessarily overcome them, but flow with them. In every land. But that reality does not exist. And so what we have is an onslaught of efforts to pretend to eradicate these problems by housing them all under one umbrella. When we know that the image of success in the minds of humans has to do with force, has to do with force. It has nothing to do with eradicating the problems, but containing it. For the problems exist for the benefit of those that I have just described for you. And the people not knowing the truth allow it to happen, thinking that it's the best that it can be. And if there are problems, the problems rest in the hands of others as opposed to in our own hands. The message that I bring to you today is this. I don't know of a human who has the compassionate heart and the wisdom to be able to articulate how each of your dreams can be met. And yet, I understand that there is a way. And the way is not my way. It is the way of the inventor. It is the way of the creator. It is the way of the maker. In your being made, a design was set in place that these desires and aspirations and joys that you seek can be met. But like all things, there is a plan in meeting them. And in meeting these, my friends and brothers all over the world, it's a simple matter. It requires that each of us, that all of us recognize that everything in existence belongs to someone else. Not any of us own anything. We didn't bring anything on this planet, and when we leave, we take nothing. We, as individuals, as human beings, we are just like a snake on the ground. We're just like a gopher. We are just like a kitten, a dog. They own nothing. Neither do we. Our capacity to do the things that we do are such that we can create for ourselves that similar to what has already been created for us. And that we can bless each other by blessing the process for which you and I were designed. And we don't have to worry about foreign armies coming in to take away the little control that we do have in our homes. We don't have to worry about cops beating us up and spraying us with mace, trying to incite a riot. We don't have to worry about terrorism. We don't have to worry about the threat of war. Why? Because each of us recognize that we must do unto others as we would have others do unto us. That is the golden rule. So one nation treats its people to the fate of having their eternal dreams realized, and its association with other nations represented on the same premise. We are here for one another. And what I have that you need was designed that way so you can get it from me and I you. We don't need coffins somewhere stashed away waiting to kill off billions of the human race so that some can have a more breathing space. That same some are the ones that are having that control today, who have puppets in every government directing the paths of policies while people are innocently being deceived, thinking that their representatives represent them, leading them straight to hell. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking to you across the world. It doesn't have to be that way. But you got to recognize that the power is not in the Illuminati. The power is not in the hands of the rich. The power is not in the hands of the warmongers. The power is in the hands of God. And that power that rests in the hands of God, pieces of it rest in the hands of each and every one of you. And if you come together and put that power together, then that power is the power of Almighty God to direct the path of human beings as the human beings say that it wants to go, and will not be denied. We got to reclaim our right to humanity. We have to, for the sake of humanity, because there's an enemy that's coming out to destroy you and I in every land. And behold, the design is such that for those nations that will not comply, that the rest of the nations of the world will turn its anger against you and become your enemy. Well, if that is the case, I say to you, everywhere, let it be. Do not join in with the crowd. For the crowd is on a path to destruction if it messes with you and you're standing on holy ground. Thank you so very much. Bye-bye.